In the region of Matmata, Tunisia, you can find cave dwellings, also known as troglodyte houses. But who exactly lives here? Why? And is this a tradition that has been kept only for tourism's sake? On our 4th day in the country, we made it our mission to explore these very interesting troglodyte houses. I have seen cave dwellings before in other countries, but none of them really come close to these ones. For example, in Hungary, many farmers and even mine workers were forced to carve underground caves in the mountains due to poverty. A very well-known area for its cave dwellings is the Bükk Mountains, located up north in the country. It is estimated that the Hungarians have been building these since the 16th century, well into mid-20th century. Most of these were built as a single room with a kitchen included, kind of like a studio, with a stone bed, but there were also a few that were built with multiple rooms. While they might not have always been an accommodation for the poorer, living in these cave dwellings was at some point considered very unsafe. This was mostly due to dampness, which would then cause respiratory diseases, as well as the possibility of ceiling collapse, which would make living in these life-threatening. On top of that, each dwelling was often the living place of as many as 10 people, plus their animals, which would then make extremely easy to spread diseases. Some of these houses are now being used as wine cellars or even museums, while others are slowly collapsing or even being taken by nature. I also had the opportunity to explore some other cave dwellings in Petra, Jordan. While the Jordanian government has forbidden Bedouins from living here, trying to relocate them to a new house in the nearby town, Wadi Musa, there's been a few who have actually refused to live their traditional nomadic lifestyle up in the mountains of Petra, and so you might still find some Bedouins living illegally in this incredible UNESCO World Heritage Site, mostly living off tourism. There's been multiple occasions where Bedouins were found trying to bend the rules, such as offering accommodation in their illegal cave in the park, as well as offering meals and even tours after opening hours. And while the government is aware of this issue and has tried to prevent it many times, they also care for Bedouins and want to protect their heritage, which makes it a very complicated topic. Over the years, I became fascinated by dwellings like these, but the ones in Tunisia were specially different. These troglodyte houses were built by the Berbers, also known as Amazigh people or Imazighen, who inhabited the Maghreb region of North Africa before the Arabs. Amazigh people are now scattered across different countries, but majorly in North Africa, especially Morocco, Algeria, and Libya. In Tunisia, they are a minority ethnic group, making up only 2.5% of the population. But their historical importance and influence in the country is definitely undeniable. Most Tunisians have Berber origin, many towns and villages were named by them, and the southeast of the country is a living proof of their incredible heritage. And part of this heritage includes traditional Berber villages, troglodyte houses, and Ksur. These three will be covered in 3 separate videos. Traditional Berber villages was covered in your last video, troglodyte houses will be covered today, and Ksur, which is a plural of the word Ksar, meaning castle in Arabic, and we will be exploring them in your next video. No one knows when these indigenous populations started settling in Matmata. While some believe the cave dwellings were built around the 14th and 15th century, others claim that they could have been already there since the 11th century, looking for shelter from the Arabs. Troglodyte houses were made by digging a large circular pit in a flat surface, generally 5 to 10 meters deep, creating a patio or courtyard, which would then serve as a communal area, access to the houses, and some of them would have a well providing water. The houses are then built around it, cutting into earth just like a tunnel, creating small chambers and corridors, which are then covered in clay. Some of the dwellings can have more than one level, and the upper levels can be accessed through steps in the patio. In general, there's no access to electricity, no toilet facilities, and some of them do not have water supply. This type of housing provides natural isolation, which serves as an ideal protection against the high temperatures of summer and the low temperatures of winter, which can be quite extreme in this region due to its proximity with the Sahara Desert. And since these crater-like dwellings are built in flat terrain and quite away from the main roads, they blend into the background and are very easy to miss. This provides a lot of privacy and has made it a safe hiding place from invaders in the past, just like the Arabs. It is so hidden that even though it is estimated that about 15,000 people used to live here, their existence was mostly discovered in 1967 due to flooding, which obviously massively impacted their houses. Almost all cave dwellings are now sadly abandoned, as the locals have moved to the neighboring towns and cities in search for better opportunities, with the exception of a few who remained attached to their traditional lifestyle or are unable to move due to lack of resources. That being said, some of the cave dwellings are still being used as stables or storage. When I came across this location online, I instantly knew I had to visit. But I wanted to look beyond the popular Star Wars hotel, also known as Hotel Sidi Idris, which made the region famous due to being the filming location of Luke Skywalker's home. So I researched the area and found a remote location with a lack of tourist attractions but an abundance in crater-like dwellings. It shouldn't be too difficult to find, right? Right? As I mentioned previously, cave dwellings can actually be very difficult to find, and I definitely underestimated that. We drove through the beautiful scenery until a point I marked on the map. While I could tell that we were in the correct location, there were so many circular pits to explore, and I couldn't tell what was in each of them until we got really close. And since Tunisia does not allow drone usage, there was no way to see them from above, which made things really hard. So we just decided to blindly walk around the area and see what we could find.
Esta aqui já tem uma porta. Esta acho que não tem nada de jeito.
Down and open top, but we were clever not to take it too far. Though it's hard not getting tempted, calling you up to see how you've been. 'Cause don't I miss you and all those things we did back then.
The silence in Haddej reminded me of how remote and off the beaten path this place really was. There was no one to sell us anything, no camel waiting for tourists to ride it, no plagues, nobody. Just two locals who we saw in the distance who were running their daily errands.
Is it 12 years since last time?
At some point it felt kind of illegal, like I was stepping into someone's property, not really knowing what I would find as I approached the new pit. And while I knew most of these troglodyte houses were now abandoned or used to store animals and tools, I was actually expecting to find at least one inhabited house or one in better conditions.
I can't seem to find any proper one. This is probably the best one we've seen so far, which is sad. I thought I would see some cave dwellings where actually you could see more doors.
As we got further and further away from the main road, roaming without a direction, my friend called me to see something she found.
Okay. Oh wow, this one is big.
And that was it. An abandoned troglodyte house, but one that was left in a somewhat good condition. At least, good enough for me to explore.
E dá para descer lá abaixo?
Não, eu estou a dizer este.
Dali.
Aqui ali atrás.
This is a very nice one, I like it.
And I can get paid for it.
Wondering how I would be able to go down, I walked around the pit until I found an entrance.
Sim. É aqui. Será que esta é a mesma? I don't know if it's the same one. This is very cool though.
Hello? Hello?
I have no idea where I'm going. Yes, friend. Yeah. Goodness, this is scary. que medo! É interessante, mas todas elas estão abandonadas. Não tem ninguém. Vou só entrar nesta. Por dentro parece argila. Oh, this is very nice. You don't want to come here, right? Okay, what is this? I do not want to see a ghost nor a snake here. There's pottery. It's very interesting. Eu pergunto-me se isto era tipo fornos, estas zonas pequenas, ou arrecadação. Then all of them look kind of the same. I guess this would be different people living in each, probably. E tem botas dentro de um deles, tem tipo potes, no outro de cerâmica. Este tem uma roda. I wonder what that is. Oh wow! What is that? That is literally another room. But I am not going there. This one is very big. I wish I would have the guts to go there, but I don't. I might be adventurous, but not that much. Like, God knows what I will find here. I always think I'm gonna find a skeleton or a snake. Well, this is it. This is probably the biggest room of all. And that one has a bunch of tools. Is that tools? I can't see. Like there's something hanging. Tipo cenas de agricultura, velhos, abandonados. Very interesting, friend. Very interesting.
While it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, it was perfect enough to allow me to explore the interiors and see what these troglodyte houses used to be like inside. And it would have taken us anyways hours, if not an entire day, to explore the whole region in the search of a troglodyte house that was still in use. So I would take that as a win.
Happy friend.
In the end, I was happy with our discovery, and I do not regret going off the beaten track to Haddej, even though it made our life much harder in terms of finding what we were looking for. If our schedule wasn't so tight, I would have loved to explore the many other crater-like dwellings that we could find there and hopefully meet a few locals. And speaking of locals, there are a few who actually make their living by showing to tourists the inside of their houses and what Berber traditions are like. And so if you are on a tight schedule and you're not in the mood to blindly explore a cave dwelling area where you don't even know if you're gonna find any cave that is still in use, then I would recommend visiting them instead. You will learn more about the Berber heritage as well as help the community. And while we were done with cave dwellings for the day, the next stop would be just as intriguing, and that is the abandoned Berber, which I mentioned previously in this video. We'll cover that in the next video, so if you do not want to miss out on that, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button. Thank you very much for staying all the way until the end. I wish you guys all a wonderful holiday season, and since I'm not going to be uploading until the next year, I'll see you guys here in 2024. Bye bye!
I know, Baba.
This was a long video, man. Oh, Daniela! Okay, water. My brain is not functioning.